The all-new WMEG Radio.
What happens when truth doesn't matter anymore?
Good morning. Another episode of The Outsiders. I am your host, Sean Sims, and in studio, special guest co-host today, our newest member of The Outsiders, Superstar. That's your name now. That's your moniker now. Superstar Marvin Doc Cheatham in the house. Doc, I know the people want to hear your voice.
Good morning. I'm following your lead as best I can. Good morning to everyone. God bless us all to wake up today. I can't say it in my right mind, but at least I'm awake.
Yes, we are awake, and there are people who are waiting for this show because The Outsiders is picking up steam, more and more listeners coming on board, and I want to start off with, because we do have a full stacked show today. It's going to be heavy hitting with the superstar Doc Cheatham here. And quickly, Doc, I do want to touch on some sports, because before the show started, we were talking a little bit about sports and this Orioles situation. How do you think the O's are going to do this year?
Well, let's say that they were quite surprising last year. I think most of us that really follow baseball were pleasantly surprised. I am an Oriole fan.
Mm-hmm.
I would say at one point I was a Pirate fan.
No, don't say that.
Because I got drafted by the Pirates.
Oh, you did?
I got drafted by what was then called the Columbus Jets. The Columbus Jets was the AAA team for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They were in Columbus, Ohio. So in 1968 and 69, I got an invitation from them to try out, and thanks, I'm saying this in a facetious way, thanks to the military, United States Army, they drafted me that year, and I ended up having to go take a physical. I had my doctor's permits and everything saying that I was not able to be in the military because I had a shoulder problem, and they kept me for 3 days. Well, one of those days that they kept me, that was on a Saturday, was my day for trial. So I had a dislike for the military all my life because they stopped my one chance.
Oh, man.
And that was the year that many of us who were baseball players were really envious because, folks, if you don't know baseball, one major thing happened in baseball in 1968, and that was the year I graduated from high school and got drafted, and that was that there was a mound. The mound was 15 feet high, and that year, Bob Gibson pitched to an ERA of 1.12.
One of the lowest ever.
And as a result of that, they lowered the mound 5 inches because no one could hit him.
He was dominated.
That's right.
Yeah, dominated.
They changed the height of the mound because of Bob Gibson, and many of us were very envious. You know, this fella made them change baseball.
He was
because he was so good.
He was with the Cardinals.
So good.
Cardinals.
But I'm an Oriole fan today. I've taken over 7,000 chosen to the Orioles games thanks to C4. He was working with the Orioles at that point. The Orioles gave me, as NAACP president, a gift, and that was I could take 150 kids once a month, every month during baseball season to the Orioles game. I've taken over 7,000 kids. I received an award from the Orioles in center field for my taking more kids to the Oriole game than anyone. So I am an Oriole fan.
You know what? I have a Pittsburgh Pirates story. The last time I saw the Pirates play in person was the 1979 World Series. I was there, and one of the former Orioles, he's passed away, and condolences to the Kelly family as well, because his wife just recently passed as well. But Pat Kelly, my grandfather, he attended my grandfather's church. My grandfather actually got him into the ministry. So he gave us tickets to, box seats tickets to the World Series, 1979. It was the last game.
79 and 71. The Orioles and the Pirates played, and the Pirates won both.
Yeah, please don't, please. That was one of the worst nights of my life. But let's move on. The Orioles, we think they got a good team, a young team, and I think they're gonna surprise people. But this fully stacked show that we have. Let's start off.
It'll be hot, y'all. Listen to it.
Look, you gotta listen. Tell your friends. Get them listening to WMEG online radio. Okay, let them know. And we're gonna start the bat off with some international news. No pun intended. Starting the bat off with international news. Ukraine, Russia, China, United States wartime scenario brewing, and there's a lot going on here. I'm just going to read quickly. This is AOL News, actually AOL, independent from AOL News. Namita Singh and Joe Middleton, and it looks like this is March the 4th. Okay, Russian artillery is pounding the last routes out of Bakhmut, aiming to completely encircle the besieged Ukrainian city, and head of Russia's Wagner group said the city was almost completely surrounded with only one road still open for Ukraine's troops. It looks like there's intense fighting going on there, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I know Sean Penn has a lot to say about this. And this video, Sean Penn was interviewed by who I call the leader of the Children of the Corn, Wolf Blitzer. This blank expression on his face for interviews is just kind of creepy. On CNN, and this interview, Sean Penn sounds like, I don't know what's going on, like it was vibrating, or like he was sitting in a vibrating chair, stuttering, stammering, shaky, his voice is shaky. I don't know what's going on, but it was brutal. He's walking around. They show a video of him walking around some warehouse or bunker with a suit on, like he's in charge of something. And some place. It's unbelievable, the interview. But Rock, go ahead and cut one.
What I'd say is, having just returned from Ukraine about 10 days ago or so, is that the impact of President Biden's trip was extraordinary. I mean, that's extremely encouraging. I think that one of the things that's concerned me, and I think that there's no question but that they need more ammunition, more long-range precision weapons, and fighter jets. And the issue really is that, right now they're dying. Every day they're dying. So what we're waiting for seems to still be attached to this,
it is brutal.
I would argue, overcautious concern related to nuclear weapons, because for one thing,
wow.
If we're going to live in a world where a bully with nuclear weapons runs the show. There was a former intelligence officer I'd spoken to in Ukraine at one point. He said, he doesn't want to live in that world. Ukraine won't. And so I just think we have to make a clear decision to start saving lives, saving infrastructure, and what that means is supplying the Ukrainians. They have no interest in having Americans or others in the fight. They're ready to take the fight themselves. And their ability to transition on these platforms, be it the F-16s or when it comes to the Patriot, is not, I don't think there's been an honest conversation about how quickly they can transition. I think there's a lot in the air about how long it takes, how maintenance, fueling, all of that. But there are a lot of many ways in which that.
I had enough. Yeah, I had enough. I had enough too. What in the world? I mean, well, you know what? A friend of mine, he was in the military. He was Air Force, and we had a debate about. This was a year ago when Russia invaded Ukraine, and he said that Ukraine would win because they're tough. Duh, they were part of Russia. He said Russia would lose because they don't have the stomach for this campaign and lost in Afghanistan. First of all, I'm trying to tell him, look, okay, Afghanistan and Ukraine, difference, hello, it's called logistics. You're in the military, you know this. It's 2,500, it's more than 2,500 miles from Russia to Afghanistan. That's a huge gap. And logistically wise, you're talking about, they're right on the border. Russia and Ukraine are bordering countries, okay? Big, big difference. And besides, you can ask Hitler, dig him up, and Napoleon about how tough Russia can be, okay? They got the firepower, more men, better equipment. Billions and billions of dollars could be spent from Russia, but we're giving billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine and to Zelensky, my boss. And you can look at, I'll use an example, look at Governor Moore. He's stripping millions from low-income families, and wants to strip more away, no pun intended. This money situation where you're getting billions and millions of dollars are just being funneled or sent to different locations, places within Baltimore City and the government, and low-income families. He doesn't want them to have it so they can get a better education. And, I mean, Doc, what do you think of the situation?
Well, I guess I'm probably in the minority because I know of 3 major wars and I've been against all 3. I was against the Vietnam War. I got drafted, as I told you earlier, but I had told my parents that if they were going to force me to go, I was leaving America. I was not going to go fight against the Vietnamese. And I'm like many people, you can't beat the Afghans. I don't think we should have been in that war. And I darn sight don't think we should be in this war. We've spent, now the word is, somewhere around $5 billion, and we're suffering here in the United States. This week, we were in front of City Hall because they were cutting food stamps. People here in Baltimore City are in food deserts. And we're spending billions of dollars to go with wars against other people, and we don't even take care of our own. So I'm consistently against any and every war until we deal with the war we have here in America.
Well, exactly. You have to take care of what's going on at home first. And next, I want to go into this East Palestine, Ohio tragedy. What is going on? I mean, first of all, you've got Mayor Pete, who's a transportation secretary, and he couldn't even take care of potholes in his own little city. So he's going to be in charge of transportation, and he's off, and he's got all types of leaves and maternity leaves, and he's gone for months and months and months at a time, and he's not there, and on and on and on. And so you got this debacle, and people have their opinions on who is responsible for this tragedy. These people, and the drinking water, the air, they're getting sick, animals are dying, and the views, joyless Behar, this woman's never happy, seems to think Trump is to blame. Rock cut to.
Someone with deep ties to the chemical industry in charge of the EPA's Chemical Safety Office. That's who you voted for in that district. Donald Trump, who reduces all safety. He did.
Joy Behar is telling East Palestine residents that the train derailment disaster that evicted them from their homes and is contaminating their air is their fault because they voted for Donald Trump. Regardless of what Trump policies may have contributed to the derailment, it's the Biden administration now. And the Biden administration took 10 days to say anything about the issue and 20 days to visit East Palestine. So Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg finally shows up in a hard hat and his cringe costume safety gear and pretends to show sympathy for the people, but East Palestine remembers who got there first. So now Biden has another PR nightmare on his hands because it looks like he doesn't care about rural America. You snooze, you lose.
Well, you snooze, you lose, because Trump did get there first. I mean, it was a good strategic, love him or hate him. The facts are the facts. It was a very good strategic move that he made. He had put his hat in for the presidency, for the the Republican Party to get that nomination. So it was a good strategic move on his part. Doc, what do you think of that?
Well, I go back to what I said a little bit earlier. I do not believe that we look at the best interests of our people.
Nope.
And when I look at what's happened there, we don't know all of the causes, but we do know that people and their animals have all been negatively affected to the degree that they're sick and dying. And why aren't we putting the $4 billion again that we're putting into this war? Why aren't we putting that $4 billion into the situation? At least move these people out of that area until such time as we not only know that they will be safe, but their future generations will be safe. I just think we're spending our money in the wrong places and we're not taking care of our own.
I agree, and you know what? We have another person, and now this guy, this video went viral. This guy's name is Terrence K. Williams, and the video went viral, and you've got to hear his opinion, because he has an opinion on this situation with East Palestine and Biden as well. Rock, cut 3. That's the 4th clip. Okay. My bad. But listen to this, people. Listen to this.
I know good and well you did not just, Terrence, breathe in, breathe out. Try not to go off on this stupid fool. I know you did not just sit up here and say that you didn't go to East Palestine, Ohio, because you zoomed in. Zoomed? You did a video. Hold up, partner. Hold up, player. If you can fly your ass to Ukraine, you can easily fly your narrow behind to Ohio to check on people. You're supposed to be the president of the United States of America. That means you are, listen up, dummy Joe. Listen to me, Joe. I'm talking to you. So look at me when I'm talking to you, okay, Joe? You are supposed to be the president of the United States of America. And do you know what that means, jackass? That means you are supposed to put Americans first. You that flew over to Ukraine eating ice cream with Zelensky, while you got people in your own state. So, can drink their own water. But you want to take your ass. Terrence, calm down. Calm down.
Okay, Terrence, calm down. Everybody calm down. Rocky, you can play that Frank clip now. Everybody calm down. This is the clip I wanted to play to cut with Frank, and everybody calm down. Calm down.
We are lost on the ground. You and me there.
And this is my segue.
Sending the clowns.
Sending the clowns.
Sending the clowns.
This is my segue to the next segment. Okay, Frank, everybody calm?
One who keeps track.
Is that comments? You're on. Where are the clowns? That was our introduction. Frank, good old Blue Eyes, the chairman of the board.
Chairman of the board.
I just wanted to, calm down because Terrence was really upset, rightfully so. And this to segue into our next segment, Sending the Clowns. Yes, the clowns, that is what they look like, the Baltimore City Board of Education. The clowns. These are a bunch of clowns. And this is a harassment of the Baltimore Collegiate School for Boys. Yes. They're a bunch of clowns. As I said, and I said this, on the outsiders, I believe that they're jealous because of the city's pathetic numbers with the education in Baltimore City schools, and I believe they strong-armed the Collegiate School for Boys, Dr. Sonia Santelisa's, the embarrassment. That's what she is, the embarrassment. And actually, because of the embarrassment, I've upgraded her to Barracuda, not of the week. She got that a couple of weeks ago. The Barracuda of the month of February. Did you see the video? I don't know if you guys, did you see her running from Chris Papps and Fox earlier this week? I mean, she hauled out of that meeting, shot behind those black curtains as soon as it ended, as soon as the meeting ended, and Papps could hardly keep up with her. He finally caught up to her because she was smoking out of there. And then when he finally called up to her, she's babbling and babbling on and on and on, and slammed the door on him, and that SUV sped off because she's an embarrassment. And I'm still gonna go with what I said. I believe that, in my opinion, it was a setup to go in there. She's the CEO of the school system and of the city, and I believe, see, folks, that's what we're the outsiders. Okay, I'm going to give you some inside information on how things really work. This is how things work. Okay, I explained that a few weeks ago, I believe last week a little bit. I believe what they use, it's an old trick. It's called PRS. The problem is the collegiate boys, they found to have some rinky-dink problems at school. Reaction, that's the R. We need to close them down and let's meet about it. And Santalisa says no, and let's leave them open to look like the savior and get some of the heat off of her. And solution, that's the S. You know what the solution is? You can stay open as long as you stay in line and don't mess up, or we'll come in and clean your clock and we'll close your butt down. And then make sure you hire, some union people, teachers as well. Wink, wink. This is from, give a little, everybody take out your pens and your paper and take some notes, because the outsiders gives the inside information. This is from the Hegelian dialectic, which I'm familiar with, playbook. George Hegel, German philosopher. You can just Google him. Google PRS Hegel, Hegelian dialectic. And this is what they ran. They ran this program. And you know what? The outsiders can see right through you all. We can see what Doc, what are you thinking?
Well, I go back a few years. I want y'all to hear this. Back in 2006, when I was chairing the Baltimore City branch of the NAACP, My recommendation to my education committee was that we need an elected school board. 16 years later, we have a school board that voted 5-5. They cannot substantiate why 5 of them voted to have the school closed. And then the explanation they give when they all unanimously vote to keep the school open, they didn't tell us they had not even visited the school.
Clowns.
On what basis did they make a decision to vote the school down, and now, a couple of weeks later, you're going to do a 360-degree turn, and you basically got caught in your own lie.
Doc, actually it's 180.
It's 180, that's right. That's right.
But we know what you mean.
It's sad. It's sad that they made that decision long ago to shut the school down, and here it is 2 weeks later, you're going to actually change that whole decision. So what was it? The CEO told you you got to do the right thing, the wrong thing? I think the whole school board needs to be changed. I'm unimpressed. I'm very unimpressed with the whole board. But worse than that, we need to get rid of the CEO, and I keep saying it.
I've been saying it as well. Fire her. She should have been fired a long time ago. Okay, let's move on, Doc, because we're back. So we're back. Now I'm going to talk about the other embarrassment, Slim Shady. Yeah, M.O.N.S.E. Did you see this dashboard? I took a look at it. He had his little press conference about accountability and how you can see what's going on and with us and all of this other business that he's talking about. Really? I took a look at the dashboard, and the Our Team section on the website, this thing looks like they got a picture. It looks like something of a Hitler youth camp picture with Slim Shady, yeah, I said it, his staff, and the police commissioner in a lineup with these goofy masks on. And I mean, it looks like something out of Star Wars or Stormtroopers or something with the mask on. And I gotta tell you guys something. Newsflash. Okay, the pandemic is over, and they're pushing this fear-mongering. And it's a bad look, and oddly enough, in the reports and resource section, I'm not finished looking. I did a quick look. I was busy this week. I was really busy. I got a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But I had a little bit of time to just look at this dashboard. And in the reports and resource section, this is the part that got me. They have an article, okay, in that section. It looks like they used her as some type of expert or whatever. And articles by the Blonde Bomber and Mackenzie. The offer's still out there to be an honorary member of the outside. The Blonde Bomber, Mackenzie Frost, in the expert section about crime reduction strategy, basically ripping M.O.N.S.E. And I'm thinking, why would you put Mackenzie Frost? And it's saying that basically strategy is not working if people are dying elsewhere, which brings me to my next point. Now, I have a hunch that in order to show off his crime reduction strategy and touted as being successful, Slim Shady, that's you, Brandon, that's your name, Slim Shady, may have stacked the deck, because he likes to stack the deck. For example, BG&E, the backstab, BG&E hearing to the citizens of Baltimore City, where he and his cronies, appointees, alone, all three, without the comptroller Bill Henry and City Council President Nick Mosby, voted to stick it to not only the Baltimore City residents, but all of BGE customers by allowing them, BGE, to control the city's conduit. And Ebony Darling, It's not over, baby cakes. Not by a long shot. It is not over, okay? Anyway, I have a hunch that a Slim Shady is stacking the deck in the one precinct that is doing better with the crime rate. And this is I just got a hunch on this. By pulling police resources, I have to confirm it, from the other 8 districts, and this is a hunch, this is the way I'm looking at it and reading things, and with this deployment comes a lowering of crime in that particular precinct. And I was in marketing. I was in marketing for over 20 years, actually longer than 20 years, and this is a tactic. We use a similar tactic we use to push a product, basically so you can stack the deck with advertising in a particular area where the home values are higher and there's more equity, so that you could increase your total loan closings for the month or quarter and make more money. In this case, he's making a case for his program, selling it that way, and this is what I gotta say. The jig is up, kid. Slim Shady. I didn't see it on the dashboard. I looked for it on the dashboard, and that is the police deployment information. Where are they going? Where are they being deployed? You all of you out there listening and YouTube, watching the YouTube channel, you all can check it out yourself. Where does it have a chart or list the number of officers deployed in each precinct? Maybe I missed it. They'll probably go in and load something onto the system after they hear this. So go in now, go as soon as possible, and take a look, people, yourself, especially now that he has seen what happened. I think, because of what happened to Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. She's got the boot because of the crime issue, and I think he's trying to stack the deck because that's going to be his Waterloo. Doc, what do you think?
Well, it's the data that I looked at that they have, it does seem to point in the right direction to identify where the problems are, but I will say this, and I hasten to say it, it gives no solutions to any problems. Giving me a data to tell me that crime is bad, yeah, you substantiated the fact that crime is bad, but nowhere in what I saw does it remedy any of the problems that we have. What I do know as a president of one of the highest density areas that we had to decrease, we did see an increase in the number of officers there. But let me also say, and this is what was not given, that those of us that are community presidents, each one of us did something in the area of crime. And tomorrow, we will give out our crime plan that we tried to give to the mayor back in July. We have documented our crime plan, and in 5 years, we can show a significant decrease. We got no credit as a community with the highest density. We got no credit. The mayor and the M.O.N.S.E program, they taking all the credit. But those of us that are the community presidents, we're the ones on the ground. Exactly. We're on the ground more than the police are. So we say, yeah, it's a good report that you did, and that identifies where the crime is, but nowhere in that report does it say how you are solving the problem. All you're doing is identifying it. Well, we don't need you to tell us that we're dying. We know we're dying.
Yeah, exactly. That's the dashboard. I mean, I looked at it and I noticed something. Because I'm a professional. You're not going to pull the wool over the outsider's eyes. Okay, I've got sources up the yin-yang. I've been in this city for a long time. My family's been in this city. Anybody who's listened to the show, they know the deal. Okay, so this running out in front of this story to throw up this dashboard and say, hey, look, hey, in order to try to stack the deck and pad your numbers on a crime or whatever is going on, I noticed something. And I actually sent an email to Commissioner Michael Harrison, and I'm going to read the email. I didn't get anything back yet. I sent it yesterday, so I didn't expect for him to send anything back this quickly. Slow. What are you people doing? You should have been on this like hotcake. You should have jumped on this email that I sent to you. And this is what I noticed, and I'm going to read the email. Hello, Commissioner Harrison. I gotta get my voice right. I have been going over the M.O.N.S.E dashboard and noticed that of the 13 crime types listed, only one section did not have a quote-unquote count, but did have a map showing where the crimes were committed. The section not listing any count is the common assault, or you call it a simple assault, block. My wife and I had an assault, we put an assault charge in with the police because of a squeegee worker incident. Okay, so that might have been one of those dots on that map, but guess what? In the count, it did not go in for violent crimes. And let me continue my email. Since the crime of aggravated and simple common assault are violent crimes in which the behavior of a person or persons against another person or personal property whose main attempt is to threaten, you got that, Commissioner Harrison? To threaten, attempt, or inflict physical harm, then why is the quote-unquote count excluded, pause, from the numbers? Yet the black dots, and there are a lot of them, there's over 300 of them, yet the black dots are shown on the map. Is this being done to lower the numbers of actual violent crime stats? Oopsie, oopsie, ooh-wee, oopsie for the city. Thank you. I'm going to read the rest. Sean Sims, host of The Outsiders, WMEG Online Radio, and YouTube. Haven't heard anything back, but we will see about Doc. Quickly, what do you think of what I just read?
Ouch. That's the best thing I can say is ouch. You expose something, and I think it's due and warrants an explanation as to why the full information was not there. You know, it's like the map that we get on identifying food deserts, but there is no alphabetical listing of which are the communities. All we see is dots. Well, we don't want to just see the dots. We want the real data.
Cough it up. All this, you know, we're going to have better visibility and accountability. And no, this is what we call smoke screening.
Well, I call it Burt Bacharach and Hal David. Promises, promises, promises.
Yeah, a lot of promises, and you're not backing them up, and the outsiders will call you out on this. And don't get it twisted with the name. Just because we're the outsiders, okay, it has nothing to do with geography. That has to do with Baltimore City residents, residents of Maryland, residents of the U.S., all over the world. You're not in that clique. You're not in that group of so-called elite. You're not in that group. George Carlin said it, okay? You're not a part of that. You ain't in the club. You are an outsider. So that's why we're giving out this information to let people know what's really going on. And speaking of which, I've got another hunch. This clean court issue, I believe that, I got a hunch that, you know, something may be coming down the pike in the court system, about this issue with recycling. People are disgusted with what's going on with the trash and the recycle issue, and it's ongoing. And we had some people who had some complaints about what was going on, the Chill BGE situation as well. We had people complaining about that and what's going on with that, and I believe, got another hunch, there might be some things going on there as well. But Rock, we want to hear what the citizens of Baltimore City have to say about this recycle issue. Cut 5. Rock. Rock. Rock, baby.
Yeah.
Could you cut 5, please?
All right.
He's heavy in thinking. Cut 5, please.
I am an avid recycler. I have to store recycling on my porch, store it in my home, so that I can have it picked up on a 2-week cycle. It is very difficult for me to do this, but because I believe in recycling and because I believe that this is the right thing, I think this bill needs to be passed. We need to have this done weekly. When you have things stored on your porch, it's also an area for insects and cats and all that, it draws all of them. I need to have this picked up every single week. On the 2-week cycle, I am putting out not only the bin that was given to us from the city, that's loaded, but I also have to purchase bags and fill those bags also, and put a sign on it saying it's recycling. I have to fill those bags, and sometimes I might have 5 of the lawn and leaf bags labeled as recycling, along with my bin that the city provided for us. And imagine all of this has been stored in my house over 8 weeks' time, waiting for the next recycling period. This is very important, and as I said, I'm an avid recycler, and I've talked to people who say, oh, they're not going to pick it up, I'm just going to throw it away. That defeats the purpose of recycling, because they don't want to have that on their house. I don't want my porch looking like it looks, but because I believe in recycling, I will store it on my porch until that following week comes along. Please, please, do the right thing. Thank you.
Rock, you can continue. Cut 6. This is the next Baltimore City citizen.
I really do believe one day a week is not enough to pick up trash. These alleys around here that I live in, near Baltimore and Raymond, are hideous. And you pick up trash once a week, and that's not enough. And then you cut back recycling to every other week. That's not good. I think DPW is very, very disgraceful lately. It's not on the ball like it used to be. And you wonder where the rats and everything come from. It's hideous. How does your backyard look? How does your back alley look? How does your neighborhood look? I wonder.
Well, this is what's been going on. You've got $1.346 million. Instead of that money, I believe it's over $14 million doled out by Slim Shady, and I guess for the COVID-19 relief. And DPW, they need all types of equipment, and they have people working for them, and they're doing the cleanup, and they need more money because of this situation that's going on with the trash and recycle. But instead, you have Clean Corps, $1.346 million being awarded to AK-47 toting, former, cocaine dealing, former, bankruptcy foreclosure having, truck driving. The company is a trucking company, not cleaning. Okay, AWOL jumping, $1.346 million award getting, got the cash, got it. Okay, and had something on this, some guy named Sean Stinnett did a little snapshot of this guy, Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh, and some guys, about 15 guys or something, and they got their little suits on, and they talking about, look at what we're doing and cleaning up, little snapshot on Twitter or something. And they got like Doc, you know how dirty this city is, and you got $1.346 million, and then you show us a shot with these guys with their little yellow jumpsuit little things on, little vests, and little yellow hoodies on, and you know how many trash bags they had in the shot? Guess how many trash bags? I think I might have given it up already. You know how many trash bags they had in the shop? 3.
Only 3?
They weren't even full. And they were to the side. See, this is how you do it. This is how, if you're going to do something like that, Sean Stinnett, and put something out there, okay, guy, if you're going to do something like that, you want to take a picture, Einstein, okay, Christopher Robin, you want to take a picture with your 15, 16, the guys and the young ladies or whatever, with your little jumpsuit, little yellow on, little whatever, glow in the dark, little suits on and hoodies, and you want to have a pile of trash that you collected. I mean, you want to be standing next to a mound of trash. You chuckleheads do a picture with 3 little trash bags that are half full. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, that's not even smart. So anyway, that's where the money's going. The DPW, people are complaining about them, and the situation, I believe, I got a hunch that more is going to be taking place to rectify the situation. And I just one more, because Doc, I want to get to you and what's going on, and we're going to close it out with the superstar and with his segment, because we really want to get into what's going on. People, you need to know about this. But there's one more Baltimore citizen who had something to say about this. And Rock, could you cut 7?
My name is. I've lived here all my life. I'm 69 years old. I'm so tired of living in a dirty, filthy city where people don't care. The people who work and take the money and supposed to do cleaning in the city are a bunch of lazy people who do nothing for their money. It is about time that somebody comes up. This city has got to get better. I want to get out. I want to get out after all of these years and being a homeowner and a taxpayer and receiving nothing for what I have put in. Thank you for this opportunity to tell you how pissed off I am.
Well, we're happy to give that opportunity. We, of course, had to blank out the name of the person, but this is just one of the calls from this recycling situation that's going on, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and people are leaving. This gentleman saying he wants to leave, but people are leaving, and it's escape from Baltimore. We need to get a Kurt Russell, John Carpenter. John Carpenter's still alive?
For us, I don't remember reading or seeing anything different.
Yeah, I got to check that, but they need to do a part 3, escape from New York, and escape from LA, and escape from Baltimore, and because people want to get out of here so badly with what's going on in these issues. And Doc has something he wants to talk about and what's going to be ongoing. Doc, tell us what's going on here.
Well, it got two phases. The first one happens tomorrow, folks that are listening today. Tomorrow, of course, being Sunday, March the 5th. The Guardian Angels Beyond the Streets are asking, please join us as the Baltimore Guardian Angels, in partnership with Marvin Doc Cheatham, bring the Guardian Angel Homicide banner of 2022 to the Matthew Henson community.
Okay.
Why the Matthew Henson community? We are the largest density neighborhood probably in the entire city of Baltimore. We know we're the largest density in the Western District. But the Guardian Angels tomorrow at 1 o'clock, 1801 Baker Street. Baker Street is between Fulton Avenue and McKean. McKean is where we built our own park and playground. But 1801 Baker Street at 1 o'clock p.m., the Guardian Angels will unveil their listing of, I don't know whether or not it's going to be 332 or the new number that the police department has given, 335 homicides from last year. we will be showing that banner that has the names, but we're not just showing the banner, and yes, we're going to do a little bit of praying for the family members and friends of those now deceased, but we're taking it a step further. One, we're going to pass out a document that substantiates the crime plan that we sent to the mayor back on July when they were asking for crime plans. We sent him our crime plan. Our crime plan has been in existence 5 years. 5 years ago, we had 16 homicides just in our neighborhood. We then implemented our crime plan because the crime plan that was approved by then the health commissioner, Dr. Wynn, did not include our neighborhood, Matthew Henson, zip code 21217, in the ceasefire crime plan. So we created our own crime plan. That year, when we implemented our crime plan, the homicides went from 16 to 8. We did it the second year, and I take the blame that it was 8 for a second year. But I would have to say that second year that we had 8 again, I take the responsibility because from September to December, I was basically in and out of the hospital due to a major stroke. So we implemented the plan the next year, the full plan. The next year, our homicides went down to 2. Last year, it went down to 2. One of them, we couldn't have done anything about it. The 18-year-old brother killed his 8-year-old brother. Yeah. We had nothing to do with that. So we're saying we have a crime plan that we implemented with the last 5 years, which shows very candidly and very materially that we reduce the crime. And we're saying that, yes, the mayor can take some credit, but we take credit. We take credit for what we did. But the other issue that we have, and that's going to be tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we're going to have on the Ides of March. The Ides of March, this will be the largest gathering of speakers, of activists in the history of Baltimore City. We may have a couple more that are not going to be listed here, but we have 20 activists that are coming to speak about the community trending area. We're talking about transparency, accountability, and disrespect. Here are the speakers and their issues. Education, Devani Patterson. Water bills, Bill Gooden. Skateboarding injustice, Stephanie Murdoch. Crime, Yolanda Pulley. Homelessness, Christine Flowers. Housing, Tyrone Boats. Business, Eartha Harris. Economy, C.D. Witherspoon. BGE Conduit and Clean Core, Sean Sims. Education, Michael Johnson. Food Apartheid, Marvin Cheatham. Underemployment, Sharon Black. Recall, Rifsky Morgan. Crime, Leo Burrows Jr. Housing, Lucky Crosby. Skateboarding, Senator Barbara Robinson. Crime, Mark Cannon. Youth, C.J. Witherspoon. Western District Early Voting, Crystal Parker. And legal, we leave the best for last.
Wait, hold it.
J. Wendell Gordon.
Oh, stop.
Go ahead.
Stop. First of all, the best is in the middle. That's yours truly, Sean Sims, because I'm going to tell you what, Doc sent me this email on this transparency, accountability, Ides of March, and we all know, if you don't know, March the 15th, the Ides of March, okay, Julius Caesar, William Shakespeare, read it, okay, and on the mic, I asked Doc, you are going to put a microphone in my hand in front of Slim Shady's City Hall. You want to do that? Fine. I have no problem with rocking the house. And JW, okay, I know J. Wendell Gordon. Okay, fine. JW, and he is exceptional, and you got a ton of exceptional people. But let the truth be known. Okay, Sean Sims is going to be in the house. The outsiders are going to be in the house. And this is just my own personal opinion. The best and the show stealer is in the middle. No offense, JW. Okay, go ahead.
Well, folks, we want to say this. The next election will be in June 2024, thereabouts. We know there's an issue dealing with the Jewish holiday and when that election will take place. But we're saying we have an election for not only the President of the United States, but the City Council for Baltimore City. And we're saying we're going to bring up issues that we want to demand. We're not asking, we want to demand transparency, accountability, and respect, because right now you're disrespecting us. We vote on issues and then you say the hell with us, you're going to do something different. We vote in large numbers, 72% support term limits, and then you got city council members going to introduce a bill to counter what we did. We vote that we want a police department for Baltimore City, and you tell us go to hell. And we're saying very candidly, we brought out all of these issues. We're letting people who are activists, day-to-day activists, come and speak on these issues, and we're saying you got until June of next year to either get it right or guess what? We're kicking all of you out of office. Those of you who don't ship up, you will have to be shaped out.
Ship up or shape up or ship out. Okay, you guys got it, because this is a lot going on here, and the Ides of March on March 15th in front of City Hall at 5 p.m. Okay, you're going to have the who's who. You're going to have a bunch of stars out there, and we're going to get it in, and we're going to get it on right in front of Slim Shady City Hall, because the citizens, frankly, are fed up and they're tired. And you know what, Doc? It was a great show, and it was a good one. And we got to run all, but don't forget, okay, and we're going to remind you next Saturday, Ides of March in front of City Hall. We want people to be there, because we're going to get it in and get it on, okay, in front of Slim Shady City Hall. And thank you all for listening to The Outsiders. Don't forget to tell your friends, family members, but there's somewhere you can listen to, and on YouTube, our YouTube channel, Outsiders WMEG, online radio, that you're going to hear things that you just don't hear anywhere else, because we have the inside information. And anyway, great speaking to you. God bless all. And Doc, do the send out.
The revolution will not be televised.
Take care, all.